It's Monday, 14th of September, and we're no longer allowed to meet in groups of 6 or greater in England as a consequence of the government's plan to combat a resurgence in coronavirus infections. At the same time that they're demanding that we respect this particular law, they are themselves going or attempting to go back on their word regarding treaties in the name of whatever it is that they're trying to achieve with Brexit. I assume it's just line their own pockets, but it could destroy the reputation of England going forward irreversibly, if not for a significant number of years, until perhaps, I don't know, people forget that we can't be trusted. So we live in a post-truth world now, apparently, where you can decide what facts you'd like to believe, or you can decide what laws you'd like to follow on the basis of political party divides. If you're in the States, it's okay to walk around threatening people or indeed killing them with assault rifles if you're on the right side of the political divide. And if you're not, well then, you're a terrorist who needs to be executed by the extrajudicial powers of the police department. Back in the UK, I know that I personally am struggling with significant mental health outcomes as a result of having a government who continually tell you to do one thing whilst they themselves are doing the complete opposite. Cummings' little trip to Scotland, for example, or the idea that we can just change the figures of deaths for coronavirus because the numbers are starting to look a little bit unpleasant, and so we'll just reevaluate how that's done. If we weren't all so terribly worried about coronavirus or the threat of what on earth's happening with the UK and Europe, we might want to look at, say, homeless figures and how they're continually adjusted by the government in a desperate attempt to make it look like there are fewer homeless people than there are. I don't know about you, dear listener, but I like my facts to be verifiable, and it doesn't matter to me whether or not they're presented by left-wing politicians, right-wing think tanks, Joe Blogs in the street. If they are backed up with evidence that, has been interpreted accurately and can be verified, then, that's what I'd like to go with. But unfortunately, nowadays, we're not seemingly given this opportunity. I was distressed on my way to my normal morning job of dropping the youngest child off at school to see once again that there was no one, not a single parent, wearing a mask to leave their child at school. And indeed, I heard a group of people talking amongst themselves, and one, maybe it was just unfortunate timing on my part, but chose that opportunity to talk about how masks were a bad thing because it was distressing for children to see people with their faces covered. And there was a general murmur of agreement amongst the group. Now, I don't know how much more clarity is needed in order for people to understand the benefit of wearing a mask. And foolishly, I had thought that, with the new rules in place, that would have given people an extra impetus to think, right, okay, there are local lockdowns taking place. We've been once again restricted in how many people we can meet with. So maybe now is the time that we should start to do a little bit of thinking for ourselves and think, okay, I might not have to wear a mask, but I'm going to choose to do so to protect others and to an extent protect myself. But no, that doesn't seem to be happening. And I'm at a loss. I am at a loss as to what to say. I don't know whether this is is a simple political divide, and I don't know where even to draw the line for it. If it is, where I live, for reasons best known to themselves, the area is very conservative. Are right-wingers disinclined to wear masks more so than left-wingers? Are people choosing at this point not to wear masks because there's a certain social stigma, or it marks them out as somebody to be concerned about? I'm making guesses here as to why people are making the choices that they are, but it is terrifying for me to be living in a world that is affected by a pandemic, and the people around me are seeming to treat the measures that are put in place as just a irritation to be circumvented and avoided wherever possible. They're choosing to pick truths that they want to accept and flying in the face of rational thought. I mean, if you knew that there was a chance that you could get sick or you could make other people sick, you'd think that you would choose an option whereby you avoided that. But no, we've got to get back to normality, apparently. Well, if normality is accepting a number of deaths, thousands, tens of thousands of deaths that were unnecessary, simply so that you can enjoy feeling smug in the comfort of your own conspiracy theory, then I am at a loss, bewildered, and struggling to make sense of the world in which we live.